There's three main things that I do that make the first year more difficult. I will do them again if we have another kid. So like, I make it hard on myself, but I wouldn't change it. If that's not motherhood in a nutshell. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about pregnancy, we talk about motherhood, we talk about life. We do things kind of natural, kind of hippie, kind of granola. If you're into that, please subscribe. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I also have an Instagram, Hey Shayla, and a podcast, Hey Shayla. Today, we are going to talk about how it gets easier after the first year of your child's life. This video is actually going to talk about how I specifically make the first year way harder than it needs to be, and I love it. So I have a 2-year-old, I have a 3-year-old. Have I been saying 2-year-old and a 1-year-old? I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Almost 3.5 and almost 1.5. So the first year for me is so hard. I am a toddler person. I love, and I say this, if you're a mom, you're gonna be like, yeah, of course you love your baby, or nobody's doubting that you don't love your newborn. But like, I thrive in the toddlerhood years. I love the questions. I love the like helping them work through their feelings. I love all of that. Like, or like I love helping them learn how to crawl or walk, or like I like teaching them how to learn. I like learning with them. And when they're just little baby blobs, they don't do a lot and they just need you a lot. I will say that I enjoyed my second postpartum exponentially more, and I think it's just because I didn't have as much stress. With the first one, I was trying to do everything perfectly. With the second one, I was like, oh, well, things turned out relatively okay. Even the things that I was worried about turned out fine. So I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. I don't know. I don't know, it was like way more relaxed, specifically on sleep. Sleep gave me, I think, postpartum anxiety or depression or something. Like, make sure you stayed on the schedule, trying to make sure you didn't go over wake windows, trying to stick to the wake windows, not knowing, like feeling like a failure because my kid wouldn't sleep through the night, or because she didn't do what the sleep schedule said to do, or like leaving early from dinners and just like worrying about their sleep, and just like so much anxiety around their sleep. And the second one, I was like, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I can't for my own mental health. So I released this sleep thing, and I was like, this kid, when they're tired, I will help them go to sleep, but I'm not going to try for an hour to get them to take a nap because they're probably not tired, right? So if you're like, girl, you're crazy, I love the newborns, I feel like there's one or the other. In my mind, you're either an infant person or you're a toddler person, which is probably not true either. So from 0 to 4, the babies, unless they have colic or reflux or something, are chill. And I don't even know that I want to say that either, because our second is still just like the most chill baby. But like, they just sleep a lot. Like a lot. And so they're in this like baby sleep where there's not like sleep cycles. It's like they're awake or they're asleep. So they can be in the middle of the room and chaos is happening and they're sleeping. Around 4 months, that changes. They get the adult sleep cycles where they have like light sleep and they can kind of be woken up. And so from 4 months to 12 months for me is the hardest time. And it still might revolve around sleep. There's three main things that I do that make the first year more difficult. I will do them again if we have another kid. So like, I make it hard on myself, but I wouldn't change it. If that's not motherhood in a nutshell. So I like to think that I do intuitive parenting. I do the things that feel right, and then I try and find the resources behind that feeling, basically. And with that, for me, intuitive parenting, my spouse supports the choices that I make, like as far as floor beds and co-sleeping and breastfeeding and childcare and all these things, right? So he's like, we're on the same page. That's a big factor. I found a bunch of moms who do these things, and they might not do all of them, but like, this is my co-sleeping person, this is my breastfeeding person, this is my like gentle parenting person, and I ask them for those advices specifically. And my schedule kind of supports these things. Maybe there's circumstances where you can't co-sleep. For me, these work for my family. So number 1, breastfeeding on demand. I was under the false illusion that like pumping was more work than breastfeeding. I was like, no, it's too much work. You have to clean all the parts, which is true. But if you don't do any pumping, I have not through either of them. The only time I've pumped is if I'm full and like they're sick and they're not nursing or something, and I need to just like release, express, I don't know. Or if she's on like a nursing strike. But otherwise I never pump. I did with my first, and I had like a whole like storage of milk, and then I was like, she's never gonna use this because we nurse on demand. I didn't do any bottles, and it is easier because you don't have anything to clean and you always have it on hand. But I could never leave her for more than like 3 hours. Now we could put milk in like a cup or something, but like they don't start doing solids until 6, between like 4 and 8 months. You're the only form of sustenance before that. And if they're not taking a bottle, you gotta stay close. You gotta keep them close. I wore my second everywhere. I would even go to events and she would just hang out on me. And it's around the clock. So I'm breastfeeding at night, breastfeeding during the day. You're always breastfeeding all the time. It's a 24-hour service, man. You're just always available. That can really wear down on your mental health a little bit. it if nobody else can feed the baby or put the baby to sleep because you're nursing them to sleep too. My second, I really tried to like get her to sleep in the carrier without nursing. I was like, we're gonna not make this boob association a thing. It's a thing now. Now we're trying to do some night weaning. So it's great because I can always settle the kids. Like I could always settle them when they were nursing. So if they were upset, I could nurse them and they would like chill out. It's terrible because like nobody else could sometimes. So like if I just needed a break, there's no break. Go nurse that baby. Or if I tried to nurse them and that didn't work, I'd be like, I don't know what to do now. That's all I got. It also makes childcare like basically impossible because I nurse her to sleep. And they would figure it out. I know they would if they had to go and they had to like figure out how to sleep on there, and I just couldn't. I didn't have to go back to work, so they didn't have to go to childcare, so they didn't have to do that. So why do it? So like, see what I'm saying here? There were choices. There were opportunities to make this not hard. Didn't take them. Childcare. I read crib sheet that says that for the first 18 months, it's really good for them to be with mom. After 18 months, it's better for them to be in a social environment. That means that I'm like, well, maybe they shouldn't do daycare until 18 months. That means I'm trying to work from home and be childcare for the first 18 months. So I've gotten nannies at about 6 months, or like babysitters that can just come for a couple hours. We're actually about to start my second, who is about to be 18 months in childcare, and I'm a little nervous about it because she is my barnacle baby. She's happy as long as she's with me, or if she like gets to know a babysitter. I just am not sure about the drop off. I'm a little bit nervous about that. Aaliyah was like, peace, didn't even turn around and look. She was just gone. I was like, okay, bye. Aaliyah loved it. But I heard this 9 in, 9 on, 9 near. That sounds exactly like what I did. At around 9 months, she started like creeping into the world and like exploring things a little more and like going away from me a little bit. And so I'm hoping that in a couple months she's ready and it's not going to be a problem. Last thing is co-sleeping. So I have a whole podcast on that's all about co-sleeping. I share how we do it logistically with 2. I share our setup. I share a lot about co-sleeping because that's what we do. And if that's what you choose to do, you should do it safely. Mainly no alcohol, no sleep aids, no sheets. Go watch my video. I think it's called like how to get 270 extra hours in the first year or something, because I felt like I slept well. Some people cannot sleep well with a baby in the bed. I cannot sleep well with my baby not in my bed. If she's not in my bed, I'm like waiting for her to wake up so I can put her in my bed. We did try sleep training, my oldest, for a little bit, and it didn't stick. Probably, I mean, because I didn't make it stick. So I'm basically the sleep prop when they need to go to sleep, which is hard, but I like it. So it works for us, I guess. There's no alone time. You like all day with them and then you're all night with them. I mean, those are the things. Breastfeeding on demand, the childcare, and the co-sleeping are like the 3 things that I do that I love that make my first year super intense. We also do like elimination communication. So I'm like trying to potty them on the potty. Like there's a lot of things that I do that's super intense, super involved that, again, I enjoy, but sometimes I'm like, I need a break, and I just can't because of the way that I've set it up. And I could change things, like we're starting a night wean to like kind of do the nighttime thing and whatever. So there are options. You just have to decide. So I just wanted to share this because a lot of these things you kind of get into and you're like, okay, that sounds like breastfeeding on demand. That sounds good. It helps with your supply in the first 6 weeks for sure. But then you could be like tethered to this kid, especially if you're at home a lot. And like where they're relying on you a lot. My first really got with my mental health. With my second, I'm like, okay, I'm here for you. I love you. Like I had embraced motherhood at that point. Instead of being like, why can't I just have my old life back? That life is gone, little girl. Come here, let me help you feel better. After the first year for me, it's easier because their sleep gets more consistent. From 4 to 12 months, it's like they've got 3 naps, they've got 2 naps, they've got 1 nap. They are transitioning between 1 and 2. They're doing this and then blah, 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 blah. And like the nap thing is just like all over the place. There's nothing that's predictable except for change. Just know that change is coming. You've got teething, you've got short naps, you've got learn how to crawl, and their sleep is bad again. And it's just like you're just dealing with this up and down of like constant sleep changes, and it just was like, wow. Then at about a year, things start to level up. They start to develop their skills. They start to just like figure it out. And it's just so fun. For me, it just keeps getting better. Like 1 was fun, 2 was fun, 3 is great. I'm loving them all. And now I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So we're in like that sweet spot. And I'm just loving it. It's hard some days. It's a lot. I'm really enjoying it. Okay. Just want to share that a little bit with you, just to kind of say that like, yeah, these are my choices, but they're also things that make me go a little crazy. Thank you for watching. Bye.